Hello fellow YouTubers, LEGO AWC Stop Motioner here. Welcome to viewers new and old. And in today's video, figured it was time I go ahead and cover the Transformers stuff that's been getting revealed these last couple weeks. So, without further ado, let's just get right into it. Starting things off, this isn't something I would normally talk about on this channel, but they got that whole reformatted edition of the Transformers soundtrack, and they just released a reformatted edition for the main theme. I really love that theme, and I really enjoyed this remix, so if you haven't yet, I highly recommend listening to it. Alright, now for the figures. So first off, we have the Transformers Studio Series 86 More Than Meets the Eye Collection Prowl. This is just basically the Earthrise mold, but thankfully taking out all the translucent plastic and making it more solid, so this figure is going to last longer, which is nice. I already have Earthrise Prowl, so I probably won't be getting this. But I'm glad we finally have a living 86 Prowl that's got the 86 style with no translucent plastic, but, he's alive. Although I have to say, I am not thrilled that they're still using the blue streak head. I don't know why they're not using a Prowl head. That's pretty lazy. But other than that, this figure looks pretty good. I think the vehicle mode looks good. Not a ton of detailing on it, but that is just kind of how Prowl looks in G1. And again, it's nice to have more solid plastic windows. There he is in the packaging. Pretty nice release if you don't have this mold already, which a lot of people don't. So, yeah, not bad. And here we have 86 Starscream. Man, how the tables have turned. Because, back in Siege and Earthrise, Starscream was the mass retail release. And for Siege, Skywarp was an exclusive. And then for Earthrise, both Thundercracker and Skywarp were exclusives. Now we have the 86 line, where Thundercracker and Skywarp are mass retail releases, and Starscream is only at Target. That's pretty frustrating, because Starscream is definitely a character that most collectors are going to want. I imagine he's going to get a mass retail release later, because they have been doing that lately, where there's an exclusive and eventually it gets fully released later. But still, it is kind of frustrating. I do think this figure looks really nice. I said it a gazillion times at this point, I'm skipping the 86 Seeker mold, but this does look really, really good. Same for the jet mode, although it's got those weird panels. It has that on every version of this mold, where there's like that miscolored spot in the center of the jet. I'm not entirely sure why that's there. It's kind of weird. I don't think that's cartoon accurate. I kind of forget. There he is in the packaging. Again, this is a skip for me. I think it's frustrating that this is only at Target, but it does look like a really good figure. And here we have an Insecticons 3-pack, which is cool for people that don't have these molds. I already have all the Legacy Insecticons, so I will be sticking with those. I don't see a need to get them. But if you don't have any of these molds yet, and you're just wanting to get all the Insecticons taken care of, this is a really good way to do that. There they are on their insect modes. It's kind of weird for Bombshell to be gray. That is cartoon accurate, but I don't know. I just kind of like the color scheme better on the Legacy one anyway. Here's the packaging. Not a bad set, just not a must-get for me. Alright, now to get into the stuff that was revealed for the Hasbro event this past Tuesday. We have Swindle, finally officially revealed. Now, I will not be talking about this figure too much, because I have already discussed him. I do have him pre-ordered. I went ahead and got him, because I cannot miss out on Swindle, because got to complete the Combaticons. I do think this figure looks pretty good, though. He's overpriced, obviously, but he does look nice. I do want to mention a discrepancy, though, with his vehicle mode, because the trailer on the back, if you notice, for the most recent images, it has some yellow on it, whereas with the original image, it was all black. So, who knows which way it's going to be? I don't care too much, but it is kind of interesting. There he is in the packaging. I think this looks like a pretty cool figure, and I look forward to getting him. Then we have Vector Prime, who as we pretty much all suspected, is just a repaint of the Legacy one, which I don't mind too much. Some people probably take issue with it, but I think it's a fine enough design. Of course, it's based on the G-Axis mold, which I do think is a pretty nice figure. So I'm looking forward to getting this. I didn't pre-order him because I just haven't been doing that with the primes because I've generally been able to find them. But still, I look forward to getting this guy and just completing my 13 primes collection. So this is the one I'll probably get. Nice thing is, though, if I do miss out on this figure for whatever reason, I can just track down the Legacy one. That would be fine. Here's jet mode. Looks pretty good. Again, I do like the colors here. It gives him a very ancient look. There he is in the packaging. Next up we have Joyride, which is a retool of the Age of the Prime Sure Shot. I have no idea who this guy is. I mean, I can see he's some sort of target master, but yeah, I know nothing about this guy, so I like the colors, but I will most likely not be getting it, because I haven't been getting any of the target masters. They're tempting, but I just don't have enough attachment to the characters. There's the car mode. Looks kind of weird with the target master on the front there. Meant to look like the engine. That definitely could look better, but whatever. Here's the packaging. Again, not a bad looking figure, just not one that I'm interested in. Then we have Tailgate. And I have to say I'm kind of surprised because we got 86 wind chargers, so I knew this figure was coming. I didn't think he'd be happening so soon, though. But I'm all for that because I'm getting very close to completing the, let's see, Season 3 mini bots. Because I haven't shown it off yet, but I was recently able to finally find the retro Outback. And between that, I already have Swerve and Wheelie, Pipes. So yeah, this guy's the only remaining one that I need, unless I decide to get Hubcap, but you know, he never appeared in the cartoon, so I don't know if I'm going to get him. But regardless, I think this figure looks really nice. It's a pretty, the Wind Charger mold is pretty good. A little rough, but I do really like the transformation. I appreciate the changes in the sculpt here. I think the head sculpt looks good. The chest. Car mode is pretty much the same. Although it is kind of weird, he's still got that spot in the front of the car for the magnetic effect, which this figure will not come with. So I kind of wish they'd retooled that, but other than that, this looks fine. There he is in the packaging. So yeah, this is one I went ahead and pre-ordered also. Then here we have Blanker, which I guess this figure is based on the toy for Point Blank. I think that's the story here. Yeah, this figure looks okay. I've heard this mold is not very good. Again, I'm skipping the target masters. Looking at the images, I don't think this looks too bad, but I've heard it's not really the best. And again, for a character I'm just not horribly attached to, I don't see a need to go out of my way to get this. It is a really cool looking car mode, though. And there he is in the packaging. Again, fine. Release. It's kind of whatever to me. Then here we have Fangry, who I think was in some sort of multi-pack recently or something. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was. So, nice to get a more widespread release of this figure. I don't know what the consensus is on this mold. Again, not a character I'm attached to, so most likely won't be getting him. But it's a unique looking figure. I do kind of like the color scheme. It's very unconventional. Then there's the alt mode. It is kind of weird that it seems like the animal heads doesn't really have anywhere to go in robot mode. Not a big fan of that at all. But other than that, this looks fine, I guess. And there's the packaging. Yeah, I'll probably be skipping this too. Then here we have Megazarak, which is based on the Armada Megatron that came out a couple years ago. I don't really know what the story is behind this thing. I obviously know who Zarak is from the G1 cartoon. I'm not sure if this is based on that. I probably should have done research on that before I did this video. Yeah, again, this is kind of a neat looking repaint. I'm not sure if I want to get the original version of this mold, but I most likely will not be getting this repaint. Here he is in the tank mode. Looks pretty good. There he is in the packaging. Do dig the colors on this, but still just not really one. Most of the stuff here, if you couldn't already tell, isn't really anything I'm interested in. Even if a lot of it does look kind of cool. Next up, we had the Unicron Soldier, which is a retool of the Age of the Primes Megatronus, which is actually not a figure that I have yet, which I really need to correct that because I've heard really good things about it. This figure is kind of a mixed bag. I really like this robot mode. I do kind of wish that they'd lean more into just making Unicron Soldier based on the Prime design for Unicron and his like duplicates he sent out. But this is kind of cool. I guess it could kind of be a Unicron for my collection. I'm not sure if I'm going to get this though. I like the color scheme and I do like the head sculpt. But I gotta say, that alt mode is rough. It is so obvious that there's a missing cannon there, and they didn't really even try to cover it up. So, yeah, not crazy about that. There he is in the packaging. Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to getting this figure, but it's most likely one I'll be skipping. Then here we have this Powerlinx Red Alert set, finally including all the mini-cons that people have been asking for on the Armada figures, which I think is really nice. I think it's cool that they're finally doing these. I'm still not sure if I'll get this because I haven't been collecting the Armada figures. I am very tempted to get the Commander Class Optimus Prime that's getting reissued right now, but I'm not sure, and I probably wouldn't be getting this set, because if I were to get a Red Alert, I'd rather have his original colors. And there's everything everyone in their vehicle modes. Yeah, this is a pretty cool looking set. I'm sure Armada fans are just going to eat this thing up. There's the packaging. I guess they're like going to power up Red Alert or something like that. So, pretty nice set. All right, now getting into some of the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive stuff. First off, we had this Blaster collaboration with some sort of... I have no idea what this band is. I have never heard of them in my life. Very unique color scheme. It's on a great mold. But yeah, I don't really know what the story is behind this. There's the alt mode. It's pretty cool looking. And there's the packaging. He comes with cassettes. He comes with a Laserbeak looking cassette, which is a very interesting choice for sure to see a Laserbeak type cassette with Blaster. But yeah, definitely won't be going out of my way to get this. Then they got this, the other exclusive they have is this cereal box set, which I guess is based on Transformers cereal from the 80s. So we got this little, these are only 5.5-inch figures, I think. Got this little Optimus. I have to say, this doesn't look too bad. I really like the idea of recreating the G1 toy designs by having a more articulated figure from it. And this doesn't look too bad. It's kind of neat looking. Comes with a trailer that fully opens up, which is cool. And the trailer shows the Transformers logo. Then there's also this little jazz that comes with it. Vehicle mode looks pretty nice. Has fully pinned on wheels, which I like. That robot mode, though, even for this size, it's pretty rough. It's kind of got a chibi style to it, which I can appreciate. I'm sure some people would really like that, but yeah, I hate to be harsh on something of this size, but it's rough. It's very rough. There's the packaging. I like how it shows showing the toy that's included, because I remember I used to get some cereal that had toys included, so this kind of takes me back, even if I'm not an 80s kid, obviously. Yeah, it does a good job conveying the look of the 80s Transformers box art. So, that was all the Transformers stuff that's been revealed these past couple of weeks. Hopefully they take a break for a little while and I don't have another video I need to get out right away. Yeah, some pretty cool stuff. Swindle and Tailgate, those are ones I definitely want to get and have pre-ordered already. I definitely do want to get Vector Prime. I'm not going out of my way to get him right now, but I definitely do plan to get him at some point. The rest of it, though, there's some cool stuff. I do really like that Armada Powerlinx set because I think it's just cool they're finally doing all the mini cons. And the Unicron Soldier is kind of interesting. I like the robot mode, but I hate the vehicle mode, so I don't know if I'm going to get that. But still, not a bad lineup of reveals at all. But of course, that's just what I think of them. Please let me know what you think of them down in the comments. Just what your favorite reveal was and what you're going to be getting or pre-ordering already and all that fun stuff. And if you like this video, please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and God bless.